Summer League Game 4 goes to the Pacers. They hold off the Knicks without Johnny Furphy, without Quentin Jackson, without Ray J. Dennis. Kam Jones gets the keys. Enrique Freeman gets to steer the wheel, and the Pacers get it done. So much to talk about on today's Locked On Pacers podcast.
You are Locked On Pacers, your daily Indiana Pacers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Congrats. You made it through the week, and welcome into another edition of the Locked On Pacers podcast, where we, of course, talk about the Indiana Pacers. As always, my name's Tony East. I cover the team for Forbes, and today, the final scheduled Summer League game. Pacers will play again tonight as the Pacers beat the Knicks to get to 2-2. Their defense finally showed a little bit of teeth for like long stretches of a game. Without some of their best players, they found enough ways to score with an unexpected third hero, but really led by two guys playing in different, more needed roles in Enrique Freeman and Kam Jones, and so much more to discuss from a 91-88 win for the Pacers. And I've started every show, I feel like, talking about how every time I was going to go through, because Summer League to me, you're talking about individuals, right? You're evaluating guys who might be in the mix for real spots on the Pacers roster, maybe some boom guys, in these games. And every single show, post-game in Summer League so far, I have had to say at the beginning, well, that a lot of guys did a lot of stuff well who matter, but the team's defense was so bad. Keep that in mind for every single player, that they had some team defense lapses or they need to guard better, right? And entering this game, the Pacers were 1-2 in Summer League, and they were third in points per game, but they were last, allowing 111 per game. Only three teams had allowed over 100 per game. They were at 111. So they were the worst defensive team. And so despite being the third best offense, they were 1-2. This game, finally, they had some actual connectivity and caused some problems defensively. Now, the Knicks missed a bunch of free throws, which the Pacers will be happy about, but they ran them off the line very well. They contained them in the paint very well. They just never let the Knicks get comfortable on the offensive end. Even if the Knicks made every free throw, they wouldn't have cracked 100 in this game. And if Marjon Beauchamp wasn't the hottest I've ever seen him in a basketball game, they would have done a really good job shutting off everybody, right? Tyler Kolek never really got going for the Knicks. He had an even assist-to-turnover ratio, almost all 6 of his threes. None of their NBA guys outside of Beauchamp really had a nice game. Anton Watson had a crazy highlight dunk, but he had 9 points on 7 shots. He was okay. The defense in this game was much better. They've made progress on that end of the floor. Isaac Jacob, the head coach, said post-game that he's happy that they have made progress, but they would like to show a consistent 48-minute performance on that end. They have one more game to do it, but keep that in mind for your undercurrent of this game, that guys who played did defend better. I actually thought Enrique Freeman was the leader there. He was a plus 21 in this game. No one else on the Pacers was better than plus 9. His just mere existence was really important on the defensive end, which we'll talk about later. Some guys had nice defensive moments. 3 steals for Hunter Maldonado from Wyoming, who people might remember him from playing against IU in the NCAA tournament. I just thought it was a more solid team defense game, and that was very important for the Pacers in getting this win. And Freeman is the guy from this game to me. Kam Jones will get, and we'll get there in the second segment, a lot of praise and buzz for what he did. He got more chances with the ball. Freeman had that first Summer League game where his stats looked nice, but his performance didn't. He was a little sheepish and missing some stuff he should make, and just wasn't full of power and oomph, right? And since then, right, he talked after the third game. He did post-game media. I think Scott Agnes was doing interviews there. And he talked about how him and Martin, one of the Pacers' assistant coaches out in Summer League, literally talked about Freeman being timid in that first game. And Martin said, no, dude, you've been working on stuff all summer. Don't be timid. Go do that things. And I think that's been noticeable since then. I mentioned that after games 2 and 3. And that was definitely noticeable in this game. Freeman did things like set harder screens than I've seen from him. He rolled well to the rim. His rebounding work at 6'7" continues to be impressive. He hits guys. He jumps. He has the TJ McConnell aspect of playing hard as a skill stuff going for him. And so the requisite level of physicality and pow was there in his game for a center. And that's despite, and I don't mean despite as like in spite of, I mean despite like he had some finesse plays, his first basket being like a post up into a baby hook, and his third basket being a post up into a baby hook, right? So even though he was doing things that I think were needed from him of like, here's some center skills that I can do with power, despite being the 6'7" guy who plays hard, he had the touch too in this game. 18 points on 9 shots for Freeman, who missed 3 free throws, including 2 late that stressed me out that this game might be going to overtime. Thankfully, Tyler Kolek missed at the buzzer. The Pacers defended that action pretty well, but he missed more free throws than shots. He was 7 for 9 from the field, and one of his misses was a 3. He made his other 3. And so he missed 1-2 on 8 attempts and was awesome on the glass again. 10 boards. He's been the Pacers' best rebounder basically in every game. 4 assists was tied for their second most. Kam Jones dominated that category, right? The 4 turnovers were a little high. The fouling was a little high. But this was, to me, the best Enrique Freeman game in terms of putting absolutely everything that he would need to put together in one game, right? Actual center-like skills. Set good screens. Hit the glass. Some little, like, pizzazzy finishes in the paint that wasn't just like, I out-hustled you to the spot or I got an offensive rebound, like real touch after using physicality. And that's the kind of stuff that he's got to show to be an efficient center at his size, right? He can't just get junk it up baskets forever. Like, he's good at that stuff, but to be a 6'7" natural 5, he's got to be able to do more than that. And obviously, I think I personally would have liked to see him play the 4 a little bit more in these summer league settings. I didn't really have a center for him to play with on this team because that's maybe another path for him in the future. He's still restricted. He's got a qualifying offer sitting out there. But in this game, he kind of had all of that. The touch on these baby hooks, a 3-pointer that dropped, better defense that was pointed out by his head coach post-game, hitting the glass. Like, he would be in the game, and the Pacers would be treading water, expanding their lead, playing well. He would leave, and like instantly, torpedo falling off a cliff. Yikes. What's going on? The bench was a mess. And so a lot of stuff went well for Freeman in this game. And I have plenty more. A beautiful assist to Josiah Jordan-James for one of his 4 assists where I was like, oh man, that was a very nice read on a good pass where he was the one like forcing the defense to bend with his existence and hitting a guy that he played with the Mad Ants a lot last year. He guarded Tyler Kolek out on the perimeter. They were on the right side, kind of close to the corner. Kolek's an NBA player. Like, there's a chance he gets real minutes for the Knicks this year. Not real minutes, but like decent minutes. And he got out on him on the perimeter, and he moves his feet, and he stayed with him just enough, and Kolek airballed the 3. Like, he was a little off in this game, certainly, but you don't airball a 3 without some deterrence. I thought that was a good defensive rep from Freeman. At one point, he caught it, kind of faced up to the top of the key like he was going to go run a handoff with, I forget who the guard was in the floor at the time, kind of shifted his weight forward and then just turned the corner right past his defender to the cup for a dunk. He hit a 3, like his second quarter, I believe it was. He was just balling. A great outing, a huge offensive rebound late in that quarter, a huge offensive rebound late in this game, and important rim pressure to put it away after the Pacers really gave this one away. They were up 17, gave the lead away, but then found a way to hold on. And Freeman was a big part of that. Like, he closed the game well. They asked Isaac Gayka about it afterwards. That not like the dream game for Freeman because he did it in like as a 5, but pretty much the like put together everything that you need to see him working on summer league game, some D reps, a 3, some touch, but some real power. He put all of it into this game. And I don't know if he'll play again in summer league. Quentin didn't play in this one again. I don't know if he's hurt or what the deal is. Ray J. Dennis didn't play in this one. I don't know what the deal is on the 2A hunt right now for the Pacers, but I continue to wonder if there's a way to have Enrique Freeman on a 2A this year and have Taelon Peter on a contract. It would probably require a waiver of somebody else. Is it waiving Ray J. Dennis? Is it waiving Tony Bradley and converting Quentin Jackson? Who knows? There's lots of ways to do it. We'll talk about that after summer league. But, I wonder what they think of Freeman at this point because, does he actually have skills that make him a more valuable present day on the floor player than any of the 4 centers that the Pacers have? I'd probably say no, right? Tony Bradley found a real niche role in the finals, right? He has some warts, certainly, but his rebounding is very good. Wiseman is certainly somebody they should want to invest in because of his size and speed at his age. And, of course, the 2 guys will be in the rotation they traded for or signed this offseason. They clearly invested in them. Is Freeman worth like real minutes over any of those guys? No. But at his level of experience and age, is it worth trying to go another year with this and seeing if they can get him to, he turns 25 when this comes out, 11 days, right? Are they going to be able to turn him into a good enough 3-point shooter or a good enough something at the 5 that he can play 5 at his height, or he can play 4 if he adds enough skill? Is that worth another year of the bet? And I think this kind of game makes you think harder about, like, yes, it probably is. I think this is what they would have wanted to see from him, even if I don't quite think he's at the level of the 4 centers they have. But that's what they kind of have to decide, is how present tense versus future tense they want to be with their 4th center. And what does that mean for the rest of the guys? I've gone through that conversation many times. Again, my own opinion would be, I mean, they can always just do camp competition, right? It's July 18th, 2 months from now, camp will be starting. They could have all these guys competing still, but like they could convert Q to a standard. They could waive Tony Bradley, and then they could sign Enrique and Taelon to 2 ways. Like that seems to me how I would be managing the assets. But that's not because I don't think Tony Bradley's good. Like Tony Bradley had a role for the Pacers in the finals last year. He certainly has value to the team in some way, and they're going to need 4 centers given that 2 of them are coming off Achilles tears. So how they handle that will be interesting. But if Enrique Freeman needed one more like awesome thumbs up level game to keep himself in that mix for a 2-way, he had it. He had it in this game. Also very good in a role that I really wanted to see him in. I'm glad we finally got it. Kam Jones. Whew, double, lead ball handler, do something. And Taelon Peter also is doing something, but in different ways. So much to talk about with the draft picks coming up here on Locked On Pacers. Before we get into those guys, let's talk about Game Time. We've all been there, logging on early, waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot to a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. That's where Game Time comes in. It makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime. You can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. If you're tired of endlessly scrolling to find the best deal, Game Time Zone Pick deals will pick the best seat in your section for you. If you've ever wondered what your seat view will actually look like, they have a panoramic seat view. The price you see is the price you pay, because there's no hidden fees, and their Game Time guarantee means that if your plans change, no problem. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKDOWNNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're back here on Locked On Pacers. Thanks for making the show first listen today and every single day. Your second listen, Locked On Knicks. Hear what they have to say about this game. Tyler Kolek had a good third game of Summer League, which was good because his first 2 games were bad, and this one was not particularly great. It's Summer League. You don't want to overreact to Summer League, but also like a second-year guy should maybe be a little more impactful than this. That's just my opinion. Locked On Knicks, I'm sure we'll have better opinions. And Marjan Beauchamp was special in this game. All right, Enrique Freeman deserved the lead. He was awesome. The second round picks, let's get to them. The other 2 meaningful guys with certainly some sort of future in the Pacers organization in some way. Kam Jones, finally it happened, right? It had to be this way for this to happen, but the guys above him in the pecking order of like give them ball handling reps first. Quentin Jackson, obviously, Ray J. Dennis, yep. Johnny Furphy, develop that, yep. All out, right? Some are probably done for Summer League. Maybe we see Q again. I don't know if they only wanted him to play once, but he did have a real injury. We'll see. So that means the top of the like good with the ball and also development pecking order was Kam Jones, right? Give him the ball. Let's see how this looks. This felt more like what he showed at Marquette. And I'm not sure this setting will be there for him as a rookie in any sort of way where he's able to go do whatever you want. But he looked really comfortable with the ball in this game. 29 minutes played, takes 19 shots. No one else in the Pacers even hit 10. And I'm not even saying that as a criticism. He should be taking 19 shots in this setting. I thought that was good work by the Pacers when it comes to specific developments. His 3 was not falling. He was 2 for 7 from deep, but 7 for 12 on 2s, made one of his free throw attempts. 3 boards is nice. Some stocky defensive moments, albeit team defense not great. The big number, though, 11 assists, right? And that is forever the biggest question about his actual development in the NBA. Can he be a 1? Is he strictly going to be a combo guard who can kind of score? He's got this funky in the paint game. Floater's great. Lefty's fun, smooth getting around defenders. Like, it's clear he'll be able to score. Like, what else, right? Can he shoot? Can he pass? Can he do what else? all these comps of like, yeah, if he defends, maybe he'd be like I think he compared himself to Nembhard and Derek White. I'm like, okay, you got to be rock solid at shooting and defense to get to that point. But this game was very good. He was very, very good in this game at just about everything that comes with being a lead ball handler and kind of table setter for this. Because 21 points on 19 shots, that's fine. 11 assists is very good, right? He was one away from half of the Pacers assists as a team. Kam Jones was awesome handling the rock in this game. The number that matters the most to me is 1 turnover, right? He's had some turnovers in the summer league that were like, whoa, that was a, losing it. What are you doing kind of moment, or just a horrible read. Why were you even trying that pass, or why did you pick up your dribble? And this game, he never made those poor reads. He kept his dribble alive, like solid passes the whole way through. Really well done game from Kam Jones. Put it together, looked great. He mentioned after the game when asked about where he feels like he's gotten the best or seen the most improvement from the start of Summer League till now is getting his win back, right? Like he had that hamstring injury in the combine and kind of had a hamstring injury in camp. And so he hadn't played like consecutive real games since being at Marquette. That's 3 months ago, right? So I think that is a thing to note with him. His health probably affected him more than anyone not named Quentin Jackson on the team. Now that he's gotten real chances in consecutive games, this one was by far his best. A double-double with 1 assist is great. Finally, that's what – I mean, I think we all saw the vision from the Marquette film and stats, but really seeing it in the NBA setting, Summer League a step up from that. He looked quite good. To run through some individual plays, really clean attack early into a scooping layup. He was really dancey and hoppy in a way that got him around guys early in this game, right? With that handle. It's so interesting. He wants to go left. He's very, very left-hand dominant. He wants to shoot from the left side. He wants to create space going left. And he can still get by guys, even with that being like a known thing. And I wonder what that looks like with more scouting in the pros, but he'll get better with the right hand. He had a great lob to Enrique Freeman. Freeman talked about that post-game, was very smiley about it, right? And he created it with this kind of like start-stop maneuver after getting around his man. So he gets around his guy, and he kind of pushes really hard forward. He baits another defender, and then he stops, and the defender that he baited in stays with him, but then his man comes back into play, and then he starts again and kind of angles away from the new defender and draws both of them away from the basket, and all of a sudden the lob to Enrique Freeman's wide open, in large part created by patience and brilliance, and this start-stop deceleration is the term everybody wants to say. Deceleration moments from Kam Jones. That was really nice. Another patient play not long after that, after getting a screen from Freeman where he got a floater out of it, right? All the little stuff in the second quarter and a variety of finishes, scooping, floating, lobbing, whatever. A spinning floater after stopping in the middle of the lane. That one, my literally notes say, hell yeah. Like it was a really cool, kind of funky shot. Like that was the Kam Jones experience that Summer League can be about, right? Put together the high-end offensive palette, do stuff. And he had a chance to do it with other guys out, and he certainly took advantage. That was his most encouraging game, too. Him and Freeman were a nice partnership on the floor. I don't have play-by-play stat data to know this, but I'd be very curious what their plus-minus was when they were out there together. Freeman was, again, every time he was on the floor, good things were happening. For the Pacers, they won Kam Jones's minutes as well. The bench was not very good for the Pacers in this game. Taelon Peter, this felt a little bit like game 1 of Summer League, where I'm going to comp him to Ben Shepherd with a thing, right? He took 2 threes in this game. He took 5 total shots. I'm not even saying this is a criticism, right? His coach, Richie McKay, on this very podcast, noted this would happen. He really wants to make the right play. And so he's catching, and he's got a little bit of space for a shot that like a guy who just drilled 1 billion threes in college, not in volume, but like in percentage, like shoot. It's about your development on here. Rip it, man. And I get his desire to make the right play, to move the ball. That's fine. It's very Ben Shepherd-y to me in that way. Like I wrote the story during Shepherd's rookie season, second season, whatever, about how they literally had to borderline bully him to tell him to shoot. Like, dude, you're open. You're on the floor. You're trusted. Shoot. And Ben Shepherd, is like, I want to keep the ball moving and run and cut and not mess up. And like, it's good, but there is a point, and I said this with Shepherd in March, even though he was missing a ton of shots at the time. Like, what is the point where playing not to make a mistake is not reaches its limit? It's like when you're giving up good shots. And so that's the thing I want Taelon Peter, if there's a 5th game, just rip it. If you go 1 for 10, who cares? It's Summer League. Rip it. If you're like way off on shots or taking stupid shots, whatever, but like, that's what I want to see from him. He really held his own defensively. guarding Jamal Bay on a possession early in this game that I was like, whoa, that foot speed, the movement, and the keep your chest up kind of contact was really, really impressive. He's had a lot of good defensive reps in Vegas in a way that I didn't expect, or maybe just didn't read into enough about his defensive successes at Liberty, but that was very impressive. So it's like, is it fair to be critical of a guy who does the Ben Shepherd style? I don't know, but because he did a lot of other good stuff. Like he finally shot his first three of the game and he drilled it, right? He made it. It's like, gosh, it's there for him. 7 points on 5 shots is like solid efficiency. He had 3 boards. He made good defensive plays. A lot to like when he does make the play. Like he had 2 drives in a row. I can't remember if this was the third or fourth quarter. It was definitely the second half because of the direction he was going in my head. One of them he finished on and scored. It was one of his made shots. And then the very next one, he drew a foul. And like, this is good. Like you wondered about this athletic player who can shoot threes. Okay, that's great. Like what else can you do? Can you drive? Do you have any sort of verve or pop, or can you bait in the defense? Yes. Yes. So far in Summer League, he has shown those skills. That doesn't mean it'll be NBA skills, but like you have to be able to do it in Summer League to do it in the NBA. This is all, I think Taelon Peter's had a really nice Summer League. He's a really smart player. He makes a lot of very mature plays. He clearly can be efficient, and he really wants to play the right way. Like that kind of guy is going to get on the floor. He's going to be a guy in training camp who, because he shoots 4 times in a really long scrimmage, his teammates be like, yeah, I love playing with this dude. I get to shoot a bunch. But like at some point, I want Taelon Peter to just rip off like 8 threes in a game. He still played well and made a lot of very successful plays. I think I felt this way basically every game. Freeman in the first game was like, yeah. Kam Jones has had some moments, but I would kind of say in general, everybody of medium, short, whatever, long-term importance for the Pacers as an individual has largely played decently to pretty well in Vegas. Like showed new skills, looked better than last year, looked comfortable, looked fine. No one has looked bad, right? There is in the past been like, oh, okay, this is clearly over guy. Like I don't feel that about anybody. In this game, they needed 1 or 2 other guys to do something to win the game. We'll talk a little bit about those guys and then look ahead to their 5th and final Summer League game to close the show out. But I think that with Freeman, Peter, and Kam Jones in this game, that I felt that way again. We're like, yep, everybody who I think I'll be talking about them come September, like somewhat often, has had a better than average, like better than a C grade Summer League. And that's a good thing for the Pacers. Let's close it out with the rest of this game and what to watch for tonight as the Pacers wrap up Summer League against the Pelicans. Before we do that, let's talk about OpenPhone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had an urgent need, maybe for a plumber or a service provider. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That is why you need OpenPhone. It's the #1 business phone system built to streamline and scale your customer communications, all from an app on your phone or computer. OpenPhone lets you manage business calls and text from a single app. They have a shared inbox feature. It's a game changer. Your team can jump into any conversation instantly without missing a beat. And they have an AI agent that handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer. OpenPhone is offering listeners of this podcast 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's OPENPHONE.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone's going to port those over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Back here on Locked On Pacers. Thanks for making us your first listen today and every single day. Thanks for sticking around this long because all the, again, names that you know, we're not talking about them anymore. Make your second listen Locked On Blazers. Damian Lillard to the Portland Trail Blazers. That is cool. That is exciting. That is fun. It is very ironic and funny to me that Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard are both on the same team after getting traded for each other 2 years ago. And that team is the Blazers. What happened? What? That's a very, very fun, like, emotion story. Basketball wise, like, whatever. Maybe not the best thing for like Dame to get legacy stuff going. I don't think he's going to win a championship or be an all-star there, but who cares? Like the romantic part of basketball, that's super fun. Speaking of the romantic part of basketball, just to squeak this in, ex-Pacer Victor Oladipo attempting an NBA comeback. Videos popped up from his workout in Vegas. A couple people reported on it. And so here's what's happened. He was reported to have worked out for teams and is desiring an NBA comeback, and he is a former Pacer. So that is his connection to the Pacers. I have yet to see a credible report about the Pacers having interest in Oladipo. And quite frankly, it doesn't make sense to me that they would. He wouldn't play in their rotation. And I'd assume maybe he just wants to be on a team again, but I'd assume he'd like to be somewhere where he has like a chance at minutes. And like, I wouldn't play him over anybody in the Pacers top 11 for either a combination of present talent or potential future talent reasons. And then your remaining 4 guys that you're considering at that point is right. Kam Jones, Quentin Jackson, or big man. It's like, I don't know if it makes sense as a right fit for Oladipo. So, and I haven't seen this reported. I can't believe how many people have asked me about it, which is why I brought it up today. But I guess if it happens, he's just willing to be like an end of bench dude, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Whatever. So the Pacers got in this game against the Knicks, 18 from Freeman and 10 boards, double-double, 21 and 11 from Kam Jones, double-double. That's 39 points. They needed one other guy. They had like a lot of sprinkles of decent scoring nights. We'll talk about some of those guys. They need one more guy to like do something, make enough shots, like 1 or 2 shots a quarter, get him across the line. Buddy Boeheim, fighting a thumb injury, as his dad said on the broadcast to Game 3, had not been particularly good, I thought, in these Summer League games yet. Showed up in this one, a good game, a game that's like, oh yeah, you've played in the actual NBA before for 20 games. 4 made shots, 3 of them from 3. That's his thing as a shooter. Getting out of the way, providing spacing. He was the other guy. He was the only other player besides Kam Jones Enrique Freeman with more than 7 points. And not even a high bar to clear. He had 12. Making shots was huge. Him just being like a mature, knows how to play guy who's played on bigger stages than this was important. I don't know what his future is or where he's going to play. I think the OKC Blues still hold his rights. I'm not certain about that for his G League future, but I thought he played better in this game. Making shots certainly makes it look that way, but I thought he played well enough, and they needed one guy to make some shots. He did it. Taelon Peter hit 3. Okay, so let's do this. Kam Jones, 21 points, 9 makes. Enrique Freeman, 18.7 makes. No one else made more than 4 shots. Boeheim made 4. Taelon Peter made 3. Everybody else made 2 or less. And just a really clunker of a game for the Pacers on offense without 3 of their top talents. Philip Wheeler continues to like be able to score in funky situations. This was probably his worst game, but he's got to pass the ball. He's just got to pass it more than he has been. I thought Josiah Jordan-James would be a little better. I really liked him with the Mad Ants last year. He's been in these games. Steven Ashworth has like at times made shots and been a good passer, and at times been kind of overwhelmed with his assists. Tominaga, Felton, Sampson, Johnson, they didn't do a whole ton in this game. Hunter Maldonado didn't like fill it up. 7 points on 2 for 6. He had 4 boards. He had 3 steals. He's been the guy to me. So I mentioned him. He played for Wyoming. He played against IU in the tournament in that playing game a few years ago. He's like this, at the time, he was like the lead ball handler from Wyoming and would like play from the post out. It was really interesting. He's an overseas pro. He just seems like kind of good to me. Not good, like keep an eye on him with the Pacers good, but just like he's probably their 4th or 5th best guy of who they had available in this game. And he made a big shot late. He played 24 minutes for a reason, by far the most off the bench, the 4th most of any Pacer. Clearly the coaching staff also views him as one of their better guys, but I don't have a ton to say about the rest of the team or this game. Better defense from the Pacers, much needed shot making from Buddy Boeheim, but the key guys were good enough. Kam Jones and Enrique were great, probably both of their best games in Summer League. One more for the Pacers. Whoever plays, I hope that there's some of these guys who matter that play. We'll do a little bit of takeaway-y stuff tomorrow against the Pels, but that's what to watch for against New Orleans is, does Ray J play and get another scoring game going? Does Quentin play again, or is he just done? Does Furphy play again? I extremely doubt it. Freeman, Jones, anyone fighting for a contract play. But I bet we see at least Taelon Peter and Kam Jones out there. Maybe not Kam Jones if he's nursing injury. Just to see some guys in one more appearance. And then Summer League will be done. So tomorrow we'll talk Pacers Pels. And then I think Sunday, man, I feel bad saying this. For the first time since April, I believe, 12th or 13th, the day before the regular season finale, I'm taking a day off. I've done a podcast every day since then. Thank you, finals run plus off season, but it's time. WNBA All-Stars here. I want to immerse myself in that a little bit. So we'll talk Pacers Pels tomorrow, and then we'll do Summer League takeaways on Monday with a guest to be determined. So looking forward to that. So tomorrow, again, Pacers Pelicans recap of Summer League, maybe a little shorter depending on how many guys play, and then back into a normal swing of things next week. Thank you all so much for listening today. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Tony R. East. This podcast is at Locked On Pacers on both Twitter and Instagram. Back tomorrow talking more Summer League ball. Till then, everybody, have a wonderful day.